Hello, YouTube. Hello, Reddit. Hello to the various news agencies who have reported on my video and the shorter cut and paste version that lacked all context, which began this amazing uproar. Oh, and to that Reddit user who picked up on my joke about arriving from Rigel 7, which is a quarantine planet in the Star Trek universe, good on you. I'm Professor Barry Mailer, and this video is my introduction to all of you, as well as a response to the involved news agencies to speak on the controversy that has resulted. To be clear and direct, this was a scripted performance, precisely the same as Deadwood is a scripted performance. To be clear and direct, I grade my students based on their work and their understanding. Telling them that I give them a random grade before I meet is my challenge to them to get them to think critically. In this example about predestination, presented in a way that affects them directly. It is obvious to my students that this is a performance. What I attempt to present for my students is a viewpoint, in this case, a radical, fantastical viewpoint, and a rather worrying one. I have no control over my grade. Oh God, my professor is insane. And then throughout the class, I show them a completely different viewpoint, that yes, your work and understanding do indeed matter. I wish for them to experience a strong preconceived notion and then to have an experience of realizing that the notion was wrong. The ability to challenge our preconceptions and to accept new ideas, contradictory ideas to what we already know for certain, what everyone knows, is fundamental to critical thinking. And aside from whichever subject I may be teaching, I very much want my students to have that ability, the ability to think for themselves and to be able to change their opinion if the evidence warrants. Some quotes from students after experiencing the first day of class. Here's one. If you think about something, but are able to figure it out, you're more likely not to forget it, the information, and to have a better understanding. And from another student, I was confused at the beginning of the class, and then I figured out I was going to like this class a lot. This method of introduction, in my experience, gets the students excited for the semester. After the first day, or the premiere of the show, as I call it, students are talking about this crazy professor and are more interested in the class. As one of my students wrote, one of the greatest teacher intros in the history of teaching. I thought your theories on grading and predestination were hilarious. I have no idea what to expect. I've been giving this performance for over a decade now, and my students have loved it. To those who are genuinely wondering if I was actually angry at my students when I spoke to them about my fears regarding COVID, my goal was to get them to appreciate that in attending in-person classes, they do present a danger, not just to me, but also to each other and to their families as well. That every large gathering in a confined space, like my classroom, contributes to the spreading of this terrible disease, which has already claimed the lives of millions around the world. At the last count, 844,000 Americans. More American lives than were lost in the Civil War. More American lives than were lost in every other war in our nation's history combined. A current Ferris PhD student wrote, I'm a third-year pharmacy student at Ferris. While I never took any of your courses, I'm sure that I would have thoroughly enjoyed your class. Your controversial intro video was hilarious and engaging. It left me wishing that I was in your class. He further wrote, I also agree with your statements regarding COVID. My dad will be turning 71 this year, and my mom 66. And I related to your statement on the students being a vector for disease, even though it was tongue-in-cheek. In my pharmacy class, there are anti-vax students. How is that allowed? People who will be practicing pharmacists in a year and a half are against vaccination and don't take COVID seriously? It's extremely disheartening. I see my parents very infrequently now because of the worry of bringing back COVID from a classmate who just had to go to a packed bar. And this is just one example of why I'm speaking in such a vehement way. The policies of this administration to require in-person teaching in combination with not requiring vaccinations for anyone is a combination of policies that places profits before people and sends the clear message to students and faculty alike: die for us, because money means more to us than your life.